much, Rick Santelli. The price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies surging following the official launch of the first Bitcoin futures contract on the CBOE, possibly one of the first steps in giving this new currency legitimacy in the mainstream. Let's bring in from Boston, Nehu Narula. He's director of the Digital Currency Initiative at the MIT Media Lab. Also joining us from Palo Alto, Litecoin creator Charlie Lee, also the former director of engineering at Coinbase. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Mr. Lee, can I start with you? What is the difference between Bitcoin and Litecoin?
Yeah, Litecoin is very similar to Bitcoin, except that it has 4 times as many coins. It's also 4 times faster. So transactions are mined in a block every 2.5 minutes versus 10 minutes for Bitcoin.
Isn't it? It sounds like you think it's better. If it's better, why doesn't it have its own contract right now?
Well, Bitcoin is here first, so it has a first mover advantage, and it also has a larger market. More people know about it. I think Litecoin is targeted more towards payments, faster transactions, and lower fees.
Now, what do you think of the trading of Bitcoin futures and what it means in terms of legitimacy here, and how much of a milestone is this event?
I think it's huge. I mean, it's...
Let's bring in Neha for that.
Thanks. Hi, Michelle. Really happy to be here. I think that this is a really important milestone. It's bringing Bitcoin to a whole new market, and it's showing that this has legitimacy and that it's something that Wall Street really cares about.
Here's the thing. There's Litecoin. There's going to be thousands of cryptocurrencies. I've asked this question, poor viewers. They've heard me ask this question now for a full week on straight to nearly every expert that we have on. If there are going to be so many cryptocurrencies and some are actually better than Bitcoin at doing certain tasks, why does Bitcoin in and of itself have any value?
I think that that is a great question. And really, you have to go back and think about money and why money has value. And the answer is because people think it does. Bitcoin's valuable because people have decided that Bitcoin is valuable. And that could be for many different reasons. Maybe they think it's convenient that you can exchange it digitally. Maybe they like the fact that there's no company or country behind it. It's pretty decentralized. But really, when we look at these things, you have to understand that there is a community behind them. There are developers and there are people who are really passionate about them.
I get that it's a fiat currency like the US dollar. I totally get that. But there's only one US dollar, and the supply of it is controlled by the Federal Reserve. Cryptocurrencies seem like there can be thousands of them created by countries all over the world. So I don't understand how they retain value.
Well, I think they retain value because some of them are more well-known than other ones, just like websites or newspapers or anything like that. And, you know, Bitcoin isn't really a fiat currency. It isn't controlled by any country. And a lot of these things aren't controlled by countries. They're controlled by people.
Charlie, what is moving the price of Bitcoin and Litecoin? What's the fundamental that's underlying it? And is there any reason to believe that you believe it can't come down just as quickly as it's gone up? Charlie? Maybe we lost Charlie. Neha, I'll throw that one to you. Is there anything in the way these cryptocurrencies are moving that tells you what's fundamentally driving them, and if there's any reason why they can't come down as quickly as they've gone up?
I think it's absolutely true that they can come down as quickly as they've come up. To me, Bitcoin, it could be worth $0 in the future. It could be worth $1 million a coin in the future. We just don't know. What's really exciting here to me is the underlying technology. Digital currencies are really powerful. They change the way that we interact with money, with financial instruments, with the stock market. It's really a fundamental change, just like the way that the internet changed the way that we trade, the way that we consume news and information. I think this technology is going to change the way we deal with money. So that's really, really powerful. That's an incredibly powerful concept. And will it be Bitcoin that does that? That's a great question. As you pointed out, there are thousands of these things, and they're all different, and they're all experimenting with different technologies.
Charlie, just to kind of build on that question a little bit, is there a way in the future where we might just distinguish between the promise of the technologies underlying Litecoin or Bitcoin or any others as a software protocol, as a new way of doing business, from the value of the coins themselves? I mean, are those two things linked in some very linear way, or may they not have very much value as currencies, but yet the technology can be successful?
I think right now, both Bitcoin and Litecoin, the value is linked very closely to the technology. So as people believe that cryptocurrency has value, they will buy the coin and the price will go up. I think in the future, there will only be a handful of cryptocurrencies that are worth much value, I believe, and that will be used for daily transactions. Because the currencies have network effects, so there won't be able to support that many different currencies that have value. But the technology itself is very powerful. So there will be tokens that use this technology that may not actually have real value, but it's providing a lot of value for when people use it.
Neha, it seems to me that a lot of people are buying into Bitcoin, Litecoin, what have you, for the wrong reasons right now. Because they believe the value that they put into it is going to be increased, I guess, by other people coming in and demand going up. When in fact, if these are supposed to be used either as stores of value or as means of transacting more seamlessly, that's not why people are buying into them. Is that fundamentally an issue here? And is it a danger at some point for the adoption of these for what they were meant to do?
Yeah, a lot of people in my communities are asking me how to buy Bitcoin. And to be honest, it worries me a little bit because these aren't people who necessarily evaluated the technology, who understand what's going on. That said, I am really excited about the potential of this technology. So in some sense, I think it could be really, really powerful and it could change the way that we transact today. So a little of both, I'd have to say.
Charlie, you've mentioned that Litecoin is meant to help with the payment systems. I'm trying to understand this technology. If people start to use Litecoin or blockchain a lot, who loses? Like, what companies would you avoid because you know that their product line is no longer going to be usable because people switch over to blockchain?
I think the whole cryptocurrency will eventually be used as real money. So I don't think any company is really being threatened by cryptocurrency, but more so like the dollar may eventually be threatened by cryptocurrency. That's my opinion.
I don't know.
That's a true believer.
I mean,
Yeah.
for the dollar, not. All right.
Well, I think cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Litecoin, the real power is that they are insensible money. So I think that gives it a lot of value, and that's something that we've never previously had. Payments that's not able to be censored by a third party like a government or a company.
Right. Okay. We've gone to the deep end here. Neha and Charlie, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I don't think